On today's video, the Chiefs offense shows signs of life versus Vegas, the defense stays strong, and the special teams is near perfect. Also, the playoff seeding is set in the AFC. We're going to talk about all that and more. Stick around.
So the Kansas City Chiefs look like the team that we all know and love against Las Vegas this weekend. And I hope you guys all had a good victory Sunday and you've bled it over into Victory Monday today, because why not take two? We have a week to think about it. So, Mike, let's start off with this offense, man. It looked more familiar than the offense that we've been seeing the last few weeks.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more ground game today. Rojo actually made an appearance. He had 10 carries for 45 yards and got a touchdown. That's amazing to see. Pacheco got 8 carries. McKinnon had 2 carries. Kadarius Toney played running back, Steve. He had 3 carries, actually scored a touchdown. I think we were a lot more balanced today. You've seen a lot more balance. You've seen a lot more balance within the wide receivers as well. You even had J. Watt make a really big play to get us going. And it just felt like the Chiefs offense of old that we're used to seeing, and we still didn't get to add Miko back. Like, that's going to be another little bit of a bonus going forward.
And Patrick Mahomes was dealing, man. He was a 105 quarterback rating. I mean, he was pretty spot on, but it just goes to show you, man, he only needed 200 yards passing and a touchdown, 1 touchdown. That's all he needed today because his offense was so balanced. So when you can take the heat off of Mahomes like that and he doesn't have to carry this team on his back, it just bodes well for the entire team as a whole, man. I've really liked watching the guys run the ball. I think that Pacheco and Rojo are a deadly combo. We've talked about it before, and we finally got to see it this week, and that's hard on the defense. Those guys are both power runners, and they're both good. And then you got Jerick McKinnon coming in and switching it up. I mean, it's just this offense, they had the defense on their heels the entire day, man. The only thing I can really point out that I thought was a weakness in our offense is the fact that Patrick Mahomes and MVS still do not have any chemistry whatsoever. All the way, the season's over, man, and there's still not any. And we talked about this while we watched the game. Do you think it is that they just can't get it together because Mahomes can't judge the speed of Valdez-Scantling because he's a lot faster than he looks?
Yeah, sometimes it looks like that. It looks like Mahomes overthrows him. He underthrows him. He threw it behind him yesterday a few times. I just feel like MVS is a big guy, and he moves quicker than you think. And I just feel like it's just not there. Something about the chemistry is not there. I don't know if it will be there. We're getting so late in the season, but MVS has still looked pretty good. When they do hook up, they hook up on key moments usually, and it looks decent. I was very impressed with we already mentioned Kadarius Toney. Travis Kelce didn't have a very big game yesterday, but he did move the chains, and he made the offense click. Like, of course, he's probably the focal point, and they were doubling him and all that stuff that Kelce did. He only had 6 catches for 38 yards. But J. Watt, man, that big reception up the sideline got us going. And then Juju, he ended up getting 2 receptions for 35. I just thought our offense was a lot more balanced today. And how about Jerick McKinnon getting back in the end zone again? This guy, all he does is score touchdowns.
You said he wouldn't do it this week. You were like, he can't be that perfect.
Prove me wrong.
Can't happen. Man, he did. It was a little bit of the, Mahomes magic flip play, but it still counts. And Jay Watt, man, that play sparked that offense and set the tone for the entire day. Beautiful route by him. And you know what? He actually beat his receiver more times than that, because there was another play that could have been strikingly similar to that one, except for Mahomes hesitated, threw it too late, and it got knocked away by a safety. Otherwise, it could have been another big play for him. So I think, a couple weeks ago, he had a rough day. Everyone called it out, said this guy can't catch. And I think he stepped up today and got back in the groove and showed people, that was just a bad day.
Yeah, the offense was great. Let's move over to the defense a little bit, man. Nick Bolton, how about that? Nick Bolton actually has 180 total tackles this season and breaks Derek Johnson's 179 tackles back in 2011. Nick Bolton has had a heck of a season, man, and this defense just continues to prove everybody wrong, and they looked really good yesterday, man. We said that they had to stop Jacobs on the ground. What's his numbers? They wasn't that good.
Yeah, he rushed the ball 17 times, but he only got 45 yards. He only averaged like 2.6 yards per carry, and he didn't get in the end zone. And I believe his long on the day was 12 yards. And if you can hold him to just a 12-yard run, that being his long, that's a great day with Josh Jacobs, because he's leading the league in rushing right now. Defense looks spectacular, in my opinion. I thought they looked pretty similar to how they have been looking.
Yeah, I thought our corners looked really good. Got to give some props to our safeties. We've been really hard on Reed and Thornhill. Both of them had a pretty good day yesterday. I believe when you combine that with being able to shut the run down, Bolton looked good. Leo Chenal had a couple big plays, but our pass rush, man, our pass rush got after it yesterday. You had a sack from Reed. You had a sack, half sack. Now they changed George Karlaftis to a half sack. He got ripped off. He should have got a full sack for that. But Mike Dana, 2 sacks for Mike Dana. He has come on this year. And then, of course, Chris Jones, 2.5. So Chris Jones was a monster in the middle yesterday, which you called. You said he'd have a field day versus those guards. But our pass rush looked good yesterday, man. When our pass rush can get after the quarterback, make the quarterback, hear footsteps, see shadows, you're going to have a big day. And I thought actually putting Snead and letting Snead shadow Devontae Adams all day, pretty good call on that one. Adams had 5 catches off 9 targets, 73 yards and no touchdown. So I didn't think Devontae Adams had a big day, and they sure as heck didn't let him beat us, and they didn't let Josh Jacobs beat us, and that was the 2 guys you have to shut down if you're playing the Raiders.
Absolutely. Huge props to the safeties because we've been hard on them. They haven't been the greatest this season, but both of them looked spectacular yesterday. Juan Thornhill, he made some good plays, good tackles, got pretty physical because that's kind of the knock we have on him is he tries to Ole tackles and he doesn't want to get in there and do this thing, but he did yesterday. I can't knock him at all. He made some great tackles, some really physical hits, and then he had the interception because, of course, we did always say he was a ball hawk, and that was his strength. But he proved it yesterday. Justin Reed, same way, man. He was all over the field. But how about Nick Bolton, though? Let's talk about that. 180 tackles, bro. He had 16 yesterday again. The fact that there's people in Chiefs Kingdom that don't like Nick Bolton or think he's not good or wasn't a good draft pick is beyond me. Makes my head want to explode. And I know the truthers and the traditionalists are out there saying that he had one more game than Derek Johnson and it shouldn't, put an asterisk beside it or something. Dude, that's nothing to scoff at. Derek Johnson was an absolute beast when he played for Kansas City. We all know that. We all love him for that. And Nick Bolton comes in his second season. When a lot of people kind of revert and have that sophomore slump, he came in and set a record for tackles. I mean, props to Nick Bolton, man. You can't say enough about this guy.
Yeah, Nick Bolton has been, arguably our best defender. If you want to look besides Chris Jones, it's Nick Bolton. He's the guy that leads it. He gets everybody in the right spot. Nick Bolton brings energy. He brings fire. He don't back down from tackles. I just like Nick Bolton, man. He's had a good season. I hope it continues. I hope the defense continues to look stout in the playoffs because we're going to need it.
Yeah, a couple of notes on that pass rush we have going. They've been getting a lot better. We did see Frank Clark suffer a groin injury and not finish the game. So that's something to keep your eye on. But luckily, we have that bye coming up. He's got 2 weeks to get healthy. Carlos Dunlap was decently quiet this game, but he was still effective, man. There was a time on 3rd down where he batted the ball down. I think he actually missed batting it, but it hit him in the head. He's just a big guy. He's been really good over there on the edge. Great pickup. Veach, you have to give him his props too because he kind of hit on these signings.
Yeah, Veach has done a really good job this year. We always knew he would. In Veach, we trust. We always go by that motto. Let's move on to the special teams, man. We said Butker would have a perfect day. Butker had a perfect day. He was 4 for 4 on extra points, and he had a field goal, 1 for 1. It was 44 yards, I believe. Tommy Townsend, too. What a great day from Tommy Townsend. He's taking a lot of heat. He had 4 punts for a total of 196 yards. That's 49 yards per punt, and he got 3 downed inside the 20. What a day by our special teams. I thought we looked good. We looked good on coverage. Najee Johnson made another big play on special teams. I think everything looks really good with special teams. Yesterday was one of the first times all year, if not the first time, that all 3 phases clicked, and you've seen what Kansas City could do.
Right. I mean, that was my takeaway from this game is all 3 phases were on point. And this team, when all of it's clicking, I mean, they're going to be hard to beat, man. And Andy Reid even acknowledged that in his presser, talking about how all 3 phases played great. And this might be the first time this season that we saw that happen. And what a great time for it to happen in the last game of the season, getting ready to roll into the playoffs. Because we can really use that momentum, and we got 2 weeks to rest, recover, get healthy, and plan on that next game, man.
So let's go ahead and jump into game balls. Steve, I'll let you go first. Who's your game balls for, man?
All right, man. Offensive game ball, I want to go ahead and give this one to Rojo, just because I can. Like, this guy's been a team player. He's kind of had a year where he's had to do a lot of growing, and I think he acknowledged that in an interview. It's just been a year where he had to, kind of swallow his pride and do his role. And he came in here at the end of the year when he finally started getting some snaps and he's played hard. He had a great game. He looked really good. He averaged 4.5 yards per carry. He got his touchdown. It was good to see Rojo get his, it was due. and I'm going to go ahead and give him the game ball for that. Defense, I'm going to give the game ball to Juan Thornhill and Justin Reed. I'm just going to give it to our safeties. Like I said earlier, we've been pretty hard on them. They haven't been the greatest this season, but they stepped up yesterday, man. They look good in the run game. They look good in the pass game. You can't say enough about them. Juan Thornhill had the interception. Justin Reed had the sack. I mean, great day for them guys.
Yeah, those are good picks. I'm going to give offensive game ball to Kadarius Toney. I'm going to go ahead and give it to him. He had a pretty good run there to get us sparked. 3 carries for 26 yards. He got in the end zone. They actually took away another one from him on that
Yeah, let's talk about
crazy
that snow
play.
globe.
That snow globe play, man. That was amazing. We went back and rewatched it. It did look like Creed held in the end zone. I mean,
I
it's
don't think it was a
nitpicky.
hold.
It's
I don't know. I
nitpicky.
watched it too. I don't think it was a hold. I think
Yeah,
it was a little extra, but I don't think it was a hold. But I don't want to
right.
interrupt your game balls.
We're good. And then I'll go on the defense here. I'm going to give a cold game ball to Chris Jones and Mike Dana. 4.5 sacks between them. Amazing. You could probably just throw in the whole defensive line, to be honest, because George Karlaftis, another half sack, and he should have had a full one. Carlos Dunlap was getting after the quarterback. He's always a monster with his big paws, jumping up and batting balls down. So yeah, I'm going to say our whole defensive line, but specifically Chris Jones and Mike Dana.
The AFC playoffs are now set, and we know what's going to happen going forward. Luckily, the Chiefs get that 1 seed. We get the bye, so that's going to be huge for us getting healthy and having time to prepare. Mike, what do you think about the rest of the field, man?
Yeah, it looks like the usual suspects got in that we thought that was going to happen. The Jets ended up not getting in. A few teams missed it, but we do have the Chargers and we have the Jaguars. You're going to have the Ravens and you're going to have the Bengals. And then also, it looks like it's going to be another divisional game there with Miami and Buffalo. So it's going to be some knockdown, drag out fights there in the first round. A lot of divisional rivalries too, man. Like, I,
Yeah.
I guess that's common these days.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's kind of crazy because Buffalo and the Bengals both have a division rivalry right off the bat. And then there's potential, if there's an upset here or there, that the Chiefs could have a divisional rivalry as well in the playoffs, all in the same year. So that's pretty crazy. But the way it's set up, man, um, Buffalo and Cincinnati both have their work cut out for them. It's a tough road for both of them because they're starting off with divisional rivalries, which are never easy games. We've seen that all year. We knew that the Chiefs were way better than the Broncos and way better than the Raiders, but there were some close games there. Um, and it's the same deal. It's just those games are always played tough. And yeah, they got to play each other if they win. So the Chiefs definitely made out like a bandit getting that 1 seed. It's so glad they earned it, dude. 14-3 on a rebuild year. You can't say enough about it, dude.
Right. Yeah. We don't have to play the Bengals or the Bills until the AFC Championship. If the Bills get there, it's going to be a neutral site. If the Bengals get there, it's going to be at Arrowhead. So I think we're okay. I would prefer to play the Bengals at Arrowhead. Again,
And beat them.
I'm on the thing where like, look,
Yes.
we get a chance to beat the Bengals. Let's beat the Bengals. Let's go win a Super Bowl. Um, that's what I think. Also, Jaguars can beat the Chargers. I don't think that's a given for the Chargers there.
Right. If Buffalo doesn't get upset by Miami, we're looking at the winner of the Chargers and Jaguars game. Neither of those are pushovers. Once again, divisional game. Always play us tough. Chargers, they do it. That's just what they do. They perform when they play Kansas City. And the Jaguars, man, they're not the same team we played earlier in the year. They are a young team, and we talked about this, man. Like we actually predicted that they were going to be in the playoffs, and because we were talking about Doug Peterson could maybe be coach of the year this year. And yeah, they're not the same team, so that's going to be a tough one as well. So Kansas City's got their work cut out for them, but I think they come in with the right momentum. Just a great game against the Raiders, good foundation to start this playoffs off, and hopefully just have a successful run at getting that Lombardi, man.
Yeah, maybe later in the week we'll try to break it down and pick our games and our predictions for that. But yeah, the Chiefs look. I mean, we're setting good. We're setting as good as we can be. You shouldn't have to play both the Bills and the Bengals, so we're gonna get one of the two, and those two are probably gonna have to duke it out in the second round. So that's gonna be kind of a fun game.
Right. So one more thing that I did want to bring up and acknowledge, Patrick Mahomes actually broke the record for most total yardage in a single season. So hats off to him. Once again, rebuilding year. We lost Tyreek. He was supposed to have, a rough year and get exposed and all this stuff. And this guy comes out and sets a record. Patrick Mahomes, man, he never stops, and he keeps amazing us over and over again. And I expect him to fully do it again before the season's over. So super excited about the playoffs this year, man. I'm pumped. I think we're in a great position. We had a great season, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of downs where people were worried, but they managed to get the job done, and that's all that matters. And we're in a good position right now. So. Thanks for being with us today. Catch this video right here. It's whatever YouTube thinks you would like to watch. So click that, get in the comments, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell. And we'll be back tomorrow with more on your Kansas City Chiefs and the AFC playoff picture. Aside from my soul.